is what it isn't. Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit. Me get up. First shot, hip strut walking. A little bit of
Hello and welcome in to the premiere of that show you wanted to listen to. I am your host, Carl Mogline, along with the magical Noah Taborda.
I am magical.
Yeah, so just if you didn't realize, this is a sports show. Kinda. If we go off on other stuff, don't blame us, because it's only that show. We never classified what show it was that you wanted to listen to. It's just that show you wanted to listen to.
For side note, I am more magical than a unicorn.
That is important.
Unicorns are a magical creature, and sports are all about unicorns.
That is obviously true. Because the conference championship games are coming up in the NFL, we thought we'd talk about them. So that's basically what we're gonna do. Talk about those. Because we could talk about KD putting up 54, or we could talk about NASCAR, but I wouldn't because NASCAR is not a sport. Oh wait, but we could talk about NASCAR on the show because it's not a full sports show. That's impressive.
We could talk about how my Flash player on my computer is not working right now. How about that?
Yeah, 50% of the time that's happening. Alright, but what we're going to talk about is the NFL playoffs. We're down to 4 teams. In case you did not know, that is the Patriots, Broncos, 49ers, and Seahawks. The New England Patriots will be heading to Denver. That game will be Sunday at 3 on CBS. And at 6:30, are these Pacific times? Are these Eastern? I don't know, my computer's sometimes on. No, these are Eastern time. That's Eastern. Next one's Eastern too. San Francisco, Seattle, 6:30 Eastern. Is that? No, that's gotta be Pacific.
It's Eastern. I'm pretty sure.
Is that the primetime game? See, the thing is, I'm so screwed up because I live on the West Coast, so all my times come in.
Okay. Since I live Central Time, 3 Eastern will be New England, Denver, and 6:30 Eastern, San Fran versus.
You're so helpful. See, the thing is, you don't even get like TV on tape delayed. Like your TV is just an hour earlier.
Yeah.
You're lucky. I get all my stuff like 3 hours later. Terrible. Especially, like there's a new Downton Abbey coming on, but no, you don't get to watch it now.
Downton Abbey.
Yep, obviously the best show. So we're gonna talk now instead of going off topic. Actually, we're just gonna go off topic more. I guess we should start with the first matchup. Seems only reasonable. Yep. So the first matchup, the Patriots facing off against the Broncos. Noah, please start off. Just tell us why you're picking the team you're picking, and then tell us who you're picking.
Well, first of all, this was a really hard game to pick. I don't think if everybody out there realizes it, but Tom Brady's dominated the series between them. He's won 2-1 in playoff games, and really, if you look at it, the Patriots would look like the favorite. They would immediately jump out to you as the team to pick. But I decided to go with the Broncos because despite Peyton Manning's struggles, I have confidence in them, actually. And look, I was going with the Patriots this whole time, and just 2 days ago I decided to change it. Denver versus New England in the playoffs, or not Denver, New England, Manning, Brady in the playoffs. The home team has won each time. That team that has won has gone on to win the Super Bowl all 3 times. I don't feel confident in that, but that's how it's going down. And then there's New England on the road. I think it's safe to say that New England on the road is not that good. The Patriots, and no disrespect to them, they are a phenomenal team. Don't get me wrong. But on the road this year, they just haven't played well. This is a team that last week we saw them destroy the Colts, a team that I don't believe has lost a game at home this year. On the road, different story. Losses against Cincinnati, losses against New York Jets on the road, losses against Carolina, and a loss against Miami. And though a lot of those teams are good, the road record is just not convincing to me. For those reasons, I'm going with Denver. But it's not the most confident of picks.
Alrighty. I guess that means it's my turn to completely counter you. First off, Brady in the playoffs is magical. And first off, I can go to the road. You can go to the road record, sure. But here's the deal: they got those 4 losses. Carolina was a playoff team who easily could be playing this weekend, and Miami obviously had some issues, but was still a good football team, and you can admit that. So those aren't bad losses. The last bad loss was a loss to New York. I'm fine with those losses. So those aren't really what's hurting me. The biggest reason I am picking New England is the emergence of a running game. And this is not just LeGarrette Blount talk. This is LeGarrette Blount and Shane Vereen coming out, and both being really running backs that I'm not sure if you can say you can count them on both, but Stevan Ridley. Pardon me. I'm going to Shane Vereen as their third. But Ridley also picked up 52 yards and 2 touchdowns their last game. But Blount is obviously the star of this rushing attack. 166 this last game. 4 touchdowns, 3 in the first half. Garrett Blount, I think Coach Bill Belichick put it best. He hasn't been handed anything. He's been working his way to get here. He has gone through time and time again struggling. Ever since, I think, you could say his career has really taken a downturn since, 2009, the Boise State game in which he punched the opposing defensive player. His career seemed to have gone down just completely since then, but now he's really resurging. LeGarrette Blount is a power running back. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He's a big guy who's going to try to hurt you any way he can. And the Denver Broncos, while they're a great offense, have had issues on defense.
Yeah,
they have had serious issues on defense. We all know, and I don't think it's just while they are 8th in rushing yards allowed, they also don't play in a conference. I would say that is. I mean, they have Charles in their conference, but neither San Diego nor Oakland is running the ball a ton. And in the end, they're not facing a ton of rushing. They also don't face the same. I don't know if it's the same caliber of backs, I could say, but I don't think they've faced. When you look at the teams they've played this year, they had Ray Rice early on, but they really have not been playing a bunch of big guys who can really pound the football, and that's a really big issue, I think.
Carl, who do you think sells more jerseys right now? LeGarrette Blount or Tom Brady?
LeGarrette Blount. I already saw the piece.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Well, here's the thing, though. Everybody already has a Brady jersey.
That's true.
Everybody already has a Brady jersey. Nobody needs another one.
It's my game changer. If they can make enough LeGarrette Blount jerseys by game time, every single person in Denver, including Denver fans, will be wearing a LeGarrette Blount jersey, they win.
They will actually have Denver fans. They will have LeGarrette Blount Denver jerseys because they are planning on trading for him if they win.
LeGarrette Blount is a beautiful man. He's a terrific football player. Okay, well, here's another thing. So, the Patriots won in the game earlier on in the year.
That is correct.
Yes. The difference that I see is in order to win that game, they needed a miracle. They overcame a miracle deficit. They were able to come back from 24 down to win that game. I don't see it happening again. If this happens again, I don't see the Broncos letting that slip away. I don't care if it's Brady. I just don't see the miracle happening.
Okay, here we go. I do want to bring up some stuff, though. Have you seen the conditions set up for Denver? Gorgeous. It was in mid-50s, no rain, a light breeze, gorgeous football conditions. That is compared to a game that last game was much worse conditions. And there was 3 fumbles lost by the New England, which I don't see happening again. Those turnovers were key. Specifically, Von Miller returning a ball early on in the game for 60 yards for a fumbling return. That's something that you can't expect out of them every day. I don't expect those 3 turnovers. One of the things I thought interesting was Jack Del Rio, the defensive coordinator for this team, for the Broncos. He's 0-7 versus Brady. Brady has been able to beat him every single time, and Brady has been the better quarterback in these games. Look at the last time they played. Peyton only had 150. Peyton did not play well against this New England pass defense. When you look at New England, not only is their offense more balanced, but I think their entire team, I feel like their defense is better than Denver's. And that's why I think they'll win this game. Because, as we've heard again and again, as sad as it is, as sad as I would love to say this isn't true, running games and defensive win championships. A great quarterback will take you there. But here's the thing. You need to be able to, 1, pound the football, and 2, most importantly, have a good defense. Because shootouts don't win championships.
Oh, yeah, I agree. That's why I don't think either of these teams is winning the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, neither of these teams have a good enough defense. Like, really, honestly, both of these teams, their defenses, if they were in the NFC, honestly, I don't think either of them would be close to the 1 seed. I think they would be Carolina type teams. I think they'd be worse than Carolina, actually. I think Carolina could beat them both in a game. I think if it was a Super Bowl between any of them, I would pick Carolina. Honestly, the only team in the NFC I wouldn't have picked over them were the Eagles.
And the Eagles would still be close, too.
And the Packers. Because neither of them have, I don't think...
You wouldn't pick the Saints? I don't know. I think the...
Well, but if it was Seahawks, Panthers, or the Niners, I'd take any of them over any AFC team any day, just because of the defense. And really, in this game, I will agree with you on the point about defense. I think this game comes down to defense, unfortunately. I think people look at it and say it's going to be high scoring and shootout. But in the end, I think whichever team can man up on defense really will be the difference maker, because I don't think there's much of limiting these offenses.
And see, I agree, but I just do not see... I don't know if it's that I don't see either of these offenses being stopped easily. I just think that the Broncos offense is... I don't think Sean Marino has enough... It's not enough legs, I guess, but like I feel like he's not going to really be able to do much. I mean, I feel like there's too one-sided. And a one-sided team is going to have some issues. Just really quickly, on your point of the defenses, points per game, this is points per game defense I wanted to look at. Because personally, I find scoring defense the best metric. You look at Seattle, Carolina, San Francisco, New Orleans are the top 4. Then you go Cincinnati, Kansas City, and you look at Cincinnati, Kansas City, we're both knocked out for a ground. Like, that conference doesn't seem to care about defense nearly as much as you look at Seattle, San Francisco are the top 2 teams. But then you got, obviously they're not the lowest team, but finding New England and Denver are not exactly high up teams by any measure. 22nd Denver is, with 24.9 points allowed. New England, 10th, 21.1. So those are the shaky things. Yeah.
Before we move on to any of the games, on Sports Pickle, one of my favorite websites, there is the NFL Playoff 8 chart.
Nice.
And so the first category is unlikable head coach. Who wins the matchup between the Patriots and the Broncos and unlikable head coach? Carl, who do you think is out of those 2 teams, who do you think is less likely?
Of the 4 teams?
Let's go with Patriots Broncos right now.
Patriots, it's gotta be Belichick.
Okay, good. Douchey QB.
I'm assuming it's going to Brady?
Yeah, I'd go Brady as well. Here's one that I think ends in a tie. Great player made unbearable by non-stop media praise.
Oh, it's gotta be Kaepernick.
Well, we're not talking about Niners and Seahawks yet.
Oh, are we still in the other game?
Yeah.
Oh.
Personally, if I had
Ooh, that's hard, but this year it's been Peyton. Yeah.
I go with Peyton Manning this year. Police issues. Honestly, I know Von Miller, or poor PED guy. I know Von Miller was on.
But Aaron Hernandez, you got Aaron Hernandez came off the Patriots, so obviously Patriots.
Are 4 for 4. Guys who will do anything for money or endorse anything. I'm going with Peyton Manning here.
Well, Peyton Manning did not accept the Omaha contract.
No.
Omaha. So if we ever are on the show and we